And
What's up, everybody? I'm gonna be hosting tonight, so let's go and get ready. Uh, so it's me, your host, Sammy, and I'm here with Cortez and Danny. What's up, Cortez?
Not
How
you,
you
Brian.
doing?
You
Huh?
said what?
Not you, Ryan. Me, Sammy,
Okay,
Cortez.
I was like, it sounded like you about to rap. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
And you, Danny?
I am amazing. Ready to have more fun here than I did watching this episode.
You
Ooh.
didn't like the episode?
It was okay. Not enough Teresa for me.
Yeah. So here we go. So it's season 14, episode 11. And they do a little interesting opening credits where they show the housewives around the house with their kids. Nothing really to discuss. So we're gonna go into the opening scene with me. For me, it was Jen meeting up with her brothers, Mike and Steven. So she meets up with them. They're gonna have a little lunch and dinner, and she's frustrated with Teresa. So she's really gonna talk to her brothers and let them know kind of what's going on. I'm sure they were already hearing about it in the tabloids and the headlines because the brother straight up asked like, "What's going on with you and Danielle?" So she fills them in basically on the beef, and she basically sums it up saying her and Danielle got into a huge fight because she called her out on some things, and Danielle got into her face and was very aggressive and very hostile. So she pushed her as a reflex, which of course led Danielle to smack her upside the head with her drink, and then she goes on to bring up to Teresa's live podcast at the cathedral, where Danielle joked about the place not burning down and her feeling like the girls just kind of let Teresa jump on her without coming to her defense. And she doesn't like it because she feels like she's on her own, even though that when it's Teresa or Dolores, she has their back and she jumps to their defense. So, of course, her brothers encourage her to talk to Teresa, to let Teresa knows how she feels and try to clear the air before it turns into something bigger. That's a little. I'll break that one down by itself. What do you think about that, Danny?
So I definitely understand where Jen is coming from with this Teresa thing. As much as I hate to say it, we see Teresa explain it a little later on in the episode, and I'll touch on that when she talks about it. But Jen is justified to feel the way she feels in this because, as I've said numerous times, almost 99.99% of the feuds Jen has had on this show has been as a result of having Teresa's back. So, when you constantly have someone's back and they don't have yours, you have a right to feel some kind of way. I'm glad that she's going to talk to her, though, and not let it fester. Let's say her family looked a little weird to me.
Nothing look a little weird.
They all look alike.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what about you, Cortez?
No, I agree. I was gonna say the same thing. I feel like Jen is definitely she's entitled to feel the way she feels. I don't think what she expects from a friend is unrealistic. However, I think Teresa is well in her rights. If let's say for example, if Teresa felt like like I'm still your friend, but I don't feel like I need to jump in all your battles, I think she would be well in her right too. I think it's just you can set expectations on friendships and relationships and but every expectation would not always be met. And I think in this moment, I think like Jen says, so we ain't even got that yet, but we'll talk about when we get to the scene. But I like that she didn't just jump the gun. She talked to somebody about it, and she's kind of approaching Teresa. We're going to approach Teresa with a sound mind versus just kind of popping off, which I don't think she would anyway. I don't think she would think about going any other approach with Teresa. Now, if it was somebody else, she would have definitely approached him, but like, you fake as hell and you have my back. But she seemed to, you can tell she definitely cherishes the relationship that Teresa has by seeking a conversation with somebody else on advice. And I also like that she did not lie about what happened between her and Danielle. She told exactly what you think she lied.
Maybe it was she could have made the push a little harder. She made it.
So that's the only thing. Like everything she's doing, I'm glad that she's like talking about it and she's not really just ready to toss Teresa to the side. But in my personal opinion, I do not feel that she pushed Danielle out of reflex. Jennifer was mad as hell too. She pushed that girl because she was frustrated with Danielle. It wasn't no "let me get you out of my way."
It wasn't no soft push either. It wasn't.
She Jennifer pushed her because she was pissed with Danielle. It wasn't because she felt like she was in her space. I don't
She
think
loved that woman.
Yeah.
Well, I like that she tried to say she was like she said she's I pushed out of defense or she was in personal space, but yeah.
And the other thing too was it just was seeing people's perspective, like yes, we could say that Danielle was in her space. Let's just ride with that for a second, okay?
Yes.
Jennifer still pushed her to the point where that lady could flew into the pool. That's how hard she pushed her. If she wouldn't have had her balance.
She would have flown that damn hard.
Jennifer pushed that woman hard. I just don't understand how Jennifer could be so disgusted that Danielle popped, like retaliated. Like that's a human reaction. If somebody pushes you, you're gonna swing back. Like, and she just said, "How disgusting! Like, what kind of person does like?"
Yeah,
you pushed her. Yeah.
Like, what did you expect?
She definitely added a little white lady victim in there.
Absolutely,
she added a little bit in there. I would agree.
But she got it more right than most people who retell a story. I will say that.
Right, because they would have left the whole. They probably left the whole damn push out. And they would have just
hit me for no reason.
No reason.
Well, you know what? I think now she has no choice but to include that because she's been told by so many people, look, you pushed that girl. Because remember, at first it was, I can't remember. I don't recall. But now I think she's like, okay, I need to go ahead and put that piece into the story because I did push it and everybody know it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So scene 2, we got across town and we have Danielle and Rachel meeting each other so the kids can have a play date. They agreed that once the kids go off to the playroom, Danielle feels Rachel on her family issues, saying how she kind of wanted her dad to come to the kids bop event, but the wife was getting her eyelids. What was she getting done to her eyelids? Whatever she was getting done to the eyelids, something went wrong, so the daddy couldn't come. And then, of course, Rachel wants to know, well, what was going on with Teresa's event? How was Teresa's event? And then she gets a breakdown from Danielle in regards to how she kind of told the girl, I'm surprised the place didn't blow up with you being in here. And it was like a back and forth thing with them. And she was kind of leaning on like saying if her dad was there, she feels like her dad would have had her back in the situation. And it made me wonder, like, what does she want her dad there for? Like, is she trying to use that as a way to kind of make amends with her father by having beef with some, I don't know. It was confusing that she kind of related those two together. But so then Rachel goes on to kind of tell her like the group's been strained and she wants to get together and have a good time. So she's having this idea for a slumber party. And Danielle agrees. She feels like it'll be something fun to do and hopefully it'll be peaceful. And then we have another scene with Gia and Teresa. Gia is studying for her LSAT because she wants to be a lawyer. And of course, Teresa's proud of that. She goes to mention how, Joe didn't finish high school. He got his GED and she only has 2 years of school with limited vocabulary, but none of that really matters because her kids are going to be well educated. So I was happy about that. But in their conversation, it comes up that Teresa's really been stressed behind the lawsuit going on. It's been like a 6-month thing going on. Well, 3 years going on at this point, but the lawsuit's been 6 months with Louis and his ex. And she basically tells us in her confession that she hates Marge because she has clear proof now that Marge has been dibbling and dabbling somehow with the ex and feeding them information. And I guess making it harder for Louis and her to have a happy marriage. So Gia tells her, basically once you get this information out, it's going to be no way that the girls won't have your back, that they won't understand why you've been so frustrated, especially Jackie. Jackie's going to be able to understand why you're upset with Marge. And Teresa's just ready to get everybody together so she can toss it out publicly. What do y'all think about those two scenes?
First off, Rachel, why are you asking about Teresa's event? Teresa don't ask nobody about your events and how they were. That's number one. So mind your business. Sammy, I found it weird, like you, when Danielle mentioned her father to the thing. I was trying to make sense of it. I was trying to say maybe she normally would have leaned on him during something like this and talked to him about it. Maybe he would have kept her calm, cool. She would have felt, I don't know. But I thought Nate did just fine. Teresa and this whole, I'm ready to hear the proof. I'm ready to see the receipts, timelines, screen evidence. I'm ready for all that. And I know that Gia says, once this comes out, We don't know anybody who's going to be able to question or doubt or not understand. I know one person. Dolores is still going to play the fence. And Dolores is still going, you know, toe the line. And, we were talking about this yesterday, Sammy. If I see that one of my friends is doing that type of stuff to somebody else, it's no question for me. Like, I'm gonna check them. I may not stop being friends with you, but I'm gonna definitely let you know about yourself. So I still think that, like we said, Loris is clicking down for me. I don't see her as, she's really not playing Switzerland and not neutral like she portrays. She's really picked a side and she's just staying friendly, keeping her foot in one door with the other. So, and I like that Teresa mentioned about 2 years of college, bad English grammar, stuff like that. Self-awareness is good for my girl, so
Yeah.
Cortez.
So as far as Teresa saying that Marge is the reason, in every situation there's multiple situations and reasons that something could be the cause of, and I think while Marge is definitely a big part, because I mean she did supposedly have talked to the ex or whatever, reached out, blah blah. The ex still has a mind of her own and can do things regardless of whatever she had going on. So I don't think it's all Marge's fault. But and I also think that it wouldn't matter if that happened or not. Teresa was still, hey Marge, because they just haven't really seen eye to eye in the last 2 years. So that was just that on that. And then as far as what was the first scene with
Rachel and Danielle?
Rachel and Danielle.
Child, I don't even know why they was really even meet up. I mean, you know what I was expecting from this scene? I was expecting, because Rachel has shown it, even when she's at odds, she still shows that she is reasonable in her thinking. Like, but in this moment, do y'all think she was kind of reasonable? She's kind of like, just go ahead.
It's funny you say that because I remember when she told Marge she was wrong for showing Jackie.
Right, and that's what I thought of.
So I thought she was going to tell Danielle.
I did too, but I didn't hear that, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
It seemed like she was aiming that way when Danielle told her that what she said to Jen on the way out. She was like, Danielle, but then they went to laughing about it. So
yeah, I mean, Danielle's reasoning for doing all that last week, talking about something, you don't get to do this. And I mean, yeah, but that situation happened. So what are you saying, Danielle? Every time you see her, you're gonna make a problem. You're gonna keep poking. Which I mean, you can do that, right? But I mean, that causes other issues. So I'm just like, girl, grow up. Like, whereas it was funny, but she should have just, I mean, at least she was honest about why she said what she said. But I'm like, all right, so if Jen keep coming at you at this point, is it ever going to stop? Because we heard that they're supposed to like get into like a bigger altercation at the finale, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, at this rate, I wonder who gonna start that. Is it gonna be them two? Because you clearly see them two coexisting with no issue at the end of the episode, which I didn't even. It took a while for me to even realize that both of them were there, because I was watching it from another room. I was listening. And I was like, oh, wait, both of them are there and they're not arguing. Like, so clearly, I don't know what's different between that day at Teresa's event versus this event, but you would think with the same energy and the reasoning that Danielle gave, she would have came to this event with the same motive. But I guess she chose not to. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to add to either of those.
I will say that I was a little lost with Gia saying that Jackie, of all people, would understand why Teresa was so upset with Marge when it's been going on for years at this point. I'm pretty sure Jackie already knows from when she was cool with Marge. So I don't really think those girls are gonna, I'm not gonna say they won't care, but I don't think it's gonna be a surprise, and I also don't think it's gonna have any impact on the way that they move within the group. I don't think they're gonna really be bothered. But before we go to the next piece, make sure y'all like and subscribe. I see somebody was in here from Canada, child. We worldwide.
Okay.
Canada. Like Candy.
Tracy's in here.
Who? That's one from Canada?
Her name, Tracy. I may say Tracy, because Tracy can't be a male name. But Tracy from Canada is here.
Their name.
You like and subscribe.
Yeah, I don't want to misgender, so let me not do that.
I got 4 up once.
Oh, I was going to skip that scene on accident. Okay, so speaking of the messy, mean Marge, she has Melissa and Joe coming to her house so they can, Joe can chop down a tree, child. No, I don't want to seem biased, but as they are sitting in the house, Marge fills in Melissa on Joe and his health scare that it can possibly be cancerous. And then they go on to talk about how Melissa saw Marge make a comment under Jackie's daughter's post regarding her bar mitzvah. And they both, for some reason, seem genuinely confused as to why they had no idea that a bar mitzvah was going to be happening for Jackie's daughter, as if we haven't seen them, the friendship kind of just fade within these last couple of episodes. The only thing I have from this scene is when I seen where she had Joe coming to do, all I could think was finally them being some damn man and they cutting down the tree instead of running around in the women's business, getting all the mess going on. That's the only thing I can think is, God, it's about time that we get them doing some manly stuff over here in Jersey. But then the next scene, this scene, so Dolores and Jen Fessler, they meet, and I didn't know what they were meeting for, but then it comes, I guess just to sit and chat and catch up. And they start reminiscing about like when they were in Ireland, how much fun they had. And they're trying to see like, will it ever be that way again? So then they go on to talk about Teresa's live podcast event. Well, basically, it wasn't a good ending, and Dolores is upset because she feels like Teresa's anxiety is climbing the chart. She says Teresa is a mess, and her anxiety is beyond anxiety behind the case with Lewis. But of course, she doesn't want to know anything. She goes on to tell Jen Fessler that she told Teresa she doesn't want to know like the details. She doesn't want to be responsible if something leaks. I don't know why that was even a thought. So she said if the less she knows, the more peaceful she could be. And then she goes on to say, actually, no, Fessler goes to tells her about how she tried to reach out to Rachel to make amends because she does not like that Rachel got mad over her attempts to stand up for her and John. But she was left on read, and Rachel didn't respond to her text. She read a piece of it. Basically, she was just telling her she doesn't like how she gets upset with her, but she gets the message, and she's going to let people run John into the ground from now on, and she won't even say nothing. As she said, and I was wondering, that's probably the part that got her left on read. But Rachel did respond nonetheless, so then she goes on and she sends out the text to invite them over to her sleepover, and to Jen Fester's like, well, hey, thanks for the invite, but I'm not going to make it. And then Rachel decides to respond back and tell her, I hope this has nothing to do with our issues and me not responding to your text, which of course it does. But so her and Dolores continue to talk, and they start to say, well, I want to point out that Dolores made a point to her, like, maybe you and Jen, y'all are in two different places in life, like two different lifestyles. I thought she was referring to their age, me personally. But yeah, y'all have this 20-year age gap. Y'all really don't have that much in common anyway. So this little riff y'all got going on, just go ahead and end it because it's kind of pointless. But she goes on to also tell her that, play nice and just text the girl back and let her know you're going to come on and come to this thing. And then they go on to decide they want to try to do a retreat to put out some fires, which was an interesting choice of words, knowing what we know now. And Dolores says she can't do it by herself, so she wants Jen Fessler to help her. Jen Fessler says, okay, she's cool with that. This scene for me, I like Dolores. I like Dolores a lot, but this particular scene kind of made me just be like, I don't know. Like, I understood the position she was trying to play, but when she said specifically that Teresa was having anxiety and she went off on Jen because she didn't like that Jen was, I guess, putting more stress on Teresa, but at the same time, that this stress that Teresa's having is dealing with the Marge. She's really upset with Marge, but you have no issue still befriending Marge. You have no issue you have an issue with letting Teresa vent to you because you don't want to know any of the information, but at the same time, you're worried about her being stressed. I didn't think she was playing the fence at first initially, but now it's given like everybody's been saying Marge has something on Dolores. Marge has something Dolores. I just thought that Marge and Dolores were really cool and she didn't want to take no, be anymore. But it's given Marge has something on Dolores. I just don't see why she would be so worried about Teresa, so stressed about Teresa. She's ready to pop off on Jen, but she ain't got nothing for Marge, who's really Teresa's, I guess, giving Teresa the most stress. Well, what's your opinion, Cortez?
So the same thing you mentioned when Dolores mentioned why she was upset with Jen and stuff like that. I was just kind of like, okay, like I understand what she's trying to say, but I mean the way she went about it and just how it came out, like she could have did a better job at that because I mean you can hate or love Jen, but you would just think that she was just coming to Teresa's defense randomly out of all times, like how we talked about last week.
Right.
You know, I mean, she didn't have to go into context of saying what was happening, but she could have been like, she's going through a lot right now. This is not what she needs. It's just ways to go about it. Because if Jen had a popped back off on her, then she would have been well her right, because she didn't know all these things, you know. And I agree with what you said as far as like her. The real issue is like, why are you not? If you are siding with Teresa in this case, I'm gonna say this: I don't think she's really siding with Teresa. I think she's still playing fence. She's trying to be like, you know what? I'm trying to be a good friend to Teresa while she's going through this. But the real issue is, if this is truly all Marge's fault from Teresa's mind, then yes, Dolores should be upset over there, or at least addressing it in some kind of way. But this is a really great but bad example of her playing the huge fence, because like you're defending somebody for something, but your other friend caused it allegedly, right? So I was okay with that. The advice she gave to Jen Fessler, I agree. I thought it was right on the money. I think it was just her telling her like, girl, like y'all are not really friends. Like, I just think Rachel it's not even at her age. And maybe it is, maybe not. I don't know, because we're like the same age, right? But I think the way that her mindset and the maturity that Jen Fessler has is just something that Rachel will never be able to comprehend in the near future. And it's even more apparent in their conversation that they have later, just how it went, you know. It's like, I don't know, like she can be like her mentee, but like friends, like good close friends and Judy's, no, they are not in the same space. Kudos to them trying to get together and do something else for the group. I don't know why. I don't know why. And I also don't know if when she thinks about these things, is Dolores gonna try to make amends with Jackie? She probably won't, because she's gonna be trying to focus on everybody else. But we'll see when the finale comes. But I hope that she includes herself in those fires, because there's a fire there too. And if we're gonna be mending things and, you know, trying to come together and having ponderosas, everybody should clear the air, not just people except the person that's trying to have it. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, Dolores saying that was the reason she went off on Jen and passed the sniff test for me. It really just gave I kind of don't like Jen. She looks like she's always been irritated with Jen. B, it was one of those things where, let me go ahead and act like I'm defending you now, so you can't say I don't ever have your back, even though it's not something serious. And see, Jen to me at that moment also seemed like she was venting to Teresa more so than yelling at her. You know what I mean? Like being pissed off with her at that time. Dolores really is not Teresa's friend. I'm noticing it more, especially in the preview we see for next week's episode, when Dolores is telling Polly she don't even want to attend the lawyer thing that Teresa is about to have to, why wouldn't you be there to support your friend? Even if it is concerning your other friend, you should still want to know the truth, right? And Fessler and Rachel, I'm sick of this. I really would just love for Fessler to tell Rachel, kiss my ass. I really don't give a damn if we talk or not. And I really wish they would leave it right there. You can't, a grown adult like Fessler should not be trying to cater or be worried about what a child is doing. Because Rachel acts like a 2-year-old. She acts more immature than her daughter. And that's all I got. I don't got nothing for that first scene with the plumber.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate that Dolores is clicking down for me the way that she's doing. Like, she's what?
And Dolores needs to stay out that tanning bed. Her skin's starting to look like leather.
Not leather.
Okay.
Listen, that's the way. That's the way she remains to be Black Dolores. You gotta keep up with the name y'all gave her.
Becoming crispy Dolores.
Not crispy.
Okay. So the next scene. So Jen and Teresa meet up, and they're going to discuss their issues. So they basically start off with Teresa. She opens up by apologizing for what happened at the event. And to which Jennifer tells her, I kind of wish that you had my back the way I had yours, because I felt alone. And Teresa, which I was with Teresa somewhat when she explained to her, look, I was basically working. I wasn't finna get out here and act a fool, not knowing how that was going to affect me. And then I have to go back on stage and answer the question from these people. So I was with Teresa on that. But Jen wasn't. Jen didn't want to hear that. She still said that she wants to feel like Teresa's a ride or die for her the way that she does. And Teresa assured her, like, listen, I do got your back. I know it didn't seem like it in that moment, but if there was ever a moment where I had to choose between you or Danielle, I'm not picking Danielle. And I think that made Jen feel a little better. So then she goes on to say, I know you're stressed about the Louis situation. So what's going on with that? And Teresa gives us more information where she's brings up the restraining order, the ex trying to get a restraining order on Louis, and how she can't say everything right now, but she's gonna have a lawyer come in and explain it to the women once she's able to actually put it out there. This scene here, I don't want people to get confused and make it and think that I feel like Marge is completely responsible for these issues that Louis is having with his ex, because it's clear that it's been happening. I think that Teresa, well, I feel like she should be more frustrated at the point where, like in the flashback scene, when they were talking, when Dolores and Fester were talking about how much fun they were having in Ireland, they showed Teresa and Marge sitting over there cackling, having a good time. But meanwhile, during this whole time where I'm thinking we're on good terms, you're behind my back and you're speaking with this man's ex, making issues for us, or making it worse for us. And as I'm telling you, you're doing this, you're telling me that you're not, and making everybody think that I'm crazy. But now I have proof and evidence that you really have been doing. I think that's more so what Teresa's issue is, or what it should be. But I mean, it's Teresa, so we don't know. But yeah, I'm actually glad those two sat down and they spoke, and it seems like they really are on the same page, and that Teresa knows what Jen is, what she wants from her, and Jen is okay with it. So I hope it stays there for them too. But I do think Teresa is going to have to, she'll have to pick a side eventually, because Danielle ain't really got her back either. But yeah, Danny, what about you? What you think?
So I agree with everything you just said about, I was extremely glad that Aiden told Teresa how she felt. I do think she kind of let Teresa off a little easy, if you ask me. Um,
Yeah.
if it was me, I would have told Teresa, I get it. You have a reason for these past two times. But in the future, if something ever comes up where I feel like you need to have my back, there can't be an excuse. Like, you need to have it. I would have just laid it out flat like that. And I get what you're saying about the whole Marge thing. Like, I think it's more about trying to prove. She already said she had nothing to do with that, so she's trying to prove that she does. My biggest thing for me is, why is Louis fighting the restraining order? Just let them
Yes.
let them put it on you. You
I'm
don't want to
confused by
see
that
your
too.
ex. You don't want to see your ex. You like what do you want to fight this for?
So I was wondering, like, if he just lets the restraining order go on him, does it make him look guilty or something? So that's why he's fighting it. But other
Yeah,
than that,
I didn't understand that.
yeah, other
I'm
than that, I'm
confused.
like, if she don't want you bothering her, you don't plan on bothering her, then hey, go ahead and do it.
That's my thing. Let her put it on you. You staying away from her anyways. You ain't talking to her. Your sons are grown for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to really interact with her. So what's the issue here? Like, what do you want to fight it for? Unless he's trying to fight it because he's on the show now and wants to make it, like you said, maybe it'll make him look bad to have one on him. But we already think he's a creep. It ain't gonna make us look no. It ain't gonna make him look no worse. Like, I already think the man is scary and all this other stuff, creepy. Give me the heebie-jeebies. So I'm not gonna think anything different. So yeah, what you spending all of Teresa's money for on the lawyer? Like, sorry. Mm-mm. But Sammy, you're also right in saying that with the Marge, so you never know if that's the real reason with Teresa. In Teresa's mind, Louis could have brainwashed Teresa to think that his ex never wanted to put a restraining order on him until Marge started talking to her. He's he has that kind of control over her emotionally. So yeah, that's all I got.
I don't see, like I said earlier, I don't see an issue with either side, Teresa and Jen. I mean, Jen made a valid point, and she also made a point for herself. Maybe she should stop doing that, or maybe you should just you can't impose your expectations on everyone else. Um, friendships can still exist without you getting all rah rah and jumping in for every friend's fight. I have a best friend that feels similar to Jen, and I will always have his back. But I'm not gonna just go crazy all the time. Now, you ain't gonna get jumped either. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, right? So I didn't see an issue with that. But I like that Teresa. She received it. She listened. Even while Jen was just because if you actually watch the scene back, Jen was just going and going and going. Teresa was trying to talk and she just kept talking of her. So but you clearly see that they have a connection and a true friendship in there. I hope that they don't ever fall out, because if they do, actually I kind of do, because it'll be some good TV. I don't know. But I don't know
if they even back.
Huh?
That's if those two even come back.
That's true. But I think that they complement each other very well. And so Teresa, could she do a little more? Yes, she can still do a little more without completely taking a side. Just because, especially in that moment when the situation happened last week, there is nothing wrong with Teresa having said something like, "Hey Danielle, like chill," just because that's just the right thing to do. Whether you're going through something in court or not, like in your sound mind should always be like, okay, like this is not cool, because clearly she was picking at her last week. I mean, she was, especially unprovoked. And then as far as yeah, I mean, I thought this was a healthy conversation. It seems like you said when Teresa told her that she would choose her over her, Jen kind of just shut up and was like, okay, so how's the court case? It would have been nice had she asked about the court case first, but it seemed like that was enough to ease her a little bit. And I mean, that's good. I just hope that Teresa does not backpedal from that, because that Danielle was probably watching the episode like, wow, just because I just know she probably was like, wow, like I just know she was. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
As I said last night on Watch What Happens Live, Danielle said they really don't talk. There's no quoted beef.
That's not shocking though. I don't think I'd have to watch this episode to know that. Like Teresa ain't Dolores. Teresa is just gonna pick a side, and
you made a point too that even though Teresa didn't have to get all rah with Danielle, she could have told Danielle during the church comment, "Hey, not here, not tonight." Like she could have even just stopped it right there by saying that.
Yeah.
So, I have a question before we do the last scene. With Jen expecting Teresa to basically have her back or pick her side, do you think that she's taking into account that Teresa may, even though she's saying she doesn't feel the way, she may still feel the way with her being so close with, well, not close, but being cool and cordial with Melissa and Joe? So that's probably why Teresa's like, well, whatever.
She could be, but then I think if they're so close, I think Teresa should vocalize that to her too and say that this bothers me. Jen obviously has no problem bringing to Teresa how she feels. Teresa just said the same thing. I thought I was okay with it, but I'm not.
But their dynamic is just so different. That's like, what's going on over there and what's happening between these two. It's I mean, there's tension, but it's a little different. It's rooted a little deeper than just something that's, so I don't know. I would hope that Teresa wouldn't do that. I mean, she could, but I know we kind of messed up.
In my opinion, I feel like we're seeing Dolores be this way because I think she still personally feels a way about not initially being included in the wedding until Dina dropped out. Oh, now you want me to be a bridesmaid because Dina's not here. I think that's why we kind of seeing
fake hoes for not speaking their mind. Tell my friend how I feel.
We got 2 super chats I want to make a quick shout out. So shout out to Z. Come on, Z. It's been a while. I haven't seen you in a minute. Even if you're giving the donations and the super chats or just joining in, come see us more often, Zeta. We love to see you in the comments.
Catch the replays, baby.
Right. Listen, we love that too. Thank you, Zeta, for the super chat. And she says, just dropping by to say hello. I'll be back for the replay. We appreciate it. Thank you, Zeta.
On the replay.
And then from Give Me Shelter, thank you for the super chat. Please give me shelter. Thanks for hanging in there. Real Housewives New Jersey is done, and this season proves it. Listen, I'm glad that y'all know that we are hanging in here.
Because what Nene said, I'm so tired, y'all.
We are doing this for y'all.
So make sure that y'all keep liking and subscribing so we can keep coming up here and doing this some more.
Please, because baby, the way Jersey going, I don't know. Next year may not be there for us because I don't know. We just gonna see. But thank you for the super chat. Give Me Shelter and Zeta. We appreciate it.
And I want TKC to stay after the comments talking about Teresa ain't never had Jen's back. That's not true. That's how their friendship, that's how their bond started because Teresa was jumping in fights for Jen when Marge and it was talking about her husband being a cheater. So TKC, go watch so you can know what you're talking about. Stop talking. Now, for the final scene. The ladies arrive at Rachel's house for her stay-over party. Stayover party. She said the ladies are not sleeping in her castle. So basically when they come in, that Rachel and Jen Fester, they kick it off. They go and basically have a sit down and try to clear the air. And Fester opens it with saying basically she ain't got it no more. She don't want to keep arguing with the little girl. She wants to get on the same page about what's going on so they can either move forward in their friendship or take a pause. And to which Rachel understands, but she says that she would have been more accepting to Fester looking out for them if it was done in a one-on-one setting, or if she explained it to her in a one-on-one setting, which I kind of didn't get because she was okay having the conversations with everybody else until Jen Fester became involved. So it kind of made her look like what she was saying was just hypocritical and fake. But either way, Fessler apologizes for doing it. Anyways, Fessler apologizes for her role in it, and Rachel accepts. And Fessler goes on to say that she feels like the group's toxic ways became contagious, making them fall out. Okay, then a lipstick reader arrives. A lipstick reader arrives. Have y'all ever heard of a lipstick reader?
They didn't either.
Okay.
I had either. I mean, just like she asks, are you what's she asked? Are you a psychic?
A medium.
In my mind, all of these people, the sound bath people, all of them are a form of psychics. to me.
So Phaedra too with the Reiki.
Yeah. They all are a form of it, and I'm like heavily. I don't do that.
I would have been like this.
Quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing with that is each lady is supposed to kiss a card, and then the empath lady, she would give them a reading. Marge is the first one. I honestly the only one we see, but she kisses her card, and the lady says that it reads as romantic and passionate, and tells her it's surprising because Marge, after being on Earth so long, is usually hesitant about letting new people in her life, which I didn't get because it seemed like she had let her now husband in her life when she was married to the other man. So I just thought that was a bad read, and we can go ahead and do away with the lipstick lady because she don't know what she's talking about. Mm-hmm. Then we have Jennifer Aiden. She tells Jackie that she read her book, and Jackie's kind of disappointed because it was a New York bestseller. And of course, Jen throws her little shade. Everybody can't beat Teresa. Then Danielle comes in with more passive aggressiveness. She has a cake. It's an ugly cake, ugliest cake I ever seen. But she has a cake and it has all the ladies on it, and one of them has fallen. And Marge asks, "Is that Jennifer Aiden?" And of course, she says no comment, which lets us know that it was. And she also admits it basically in the confessional that it was done on purpose to, I guess, just antagonize Jen. But then they go on to have some fun. They play a game where they have to eat a fruit roll up without their hands, and y'all know the game everybody do with a fruit roll up, you eat it out your mouth, and Jen wins. And she says she swallowed. She doesn't usually do that because Bill eats a lot of spicy food.
Yeah. That's just nasty.
Disgusting. So then they go sit down to eat, and they start asking each other, like, when do you know your husband wants to be sexual? And Dolores lets them know that when Paulie breathes, because men always want to have sex. And so she brings up Paulie, and the girls are like, well, speaking of, what's going on with y'all in this business that y'all got going on? And Dolores lets them know that it's moving forward, but she's not doing any prostate milking in the office, and that she should have known. She mentions in the confessional, she should have known that talking about sex would bring the girls together. She uses that as a good time to mention the retreat, to which they all agree that they want to join in. Then the big question arrives is, will Teresa be invited? And Dolores says, just leave that to us because we're working on it. Yeah. What do you think about that, Danny, about the scene?
Well, when they said, was she going to be invited, when they said they're working on it, what are you working on? You're either going to invite her or not. About her actually coming is a different story, but are you going to invite her? That's a yes or no question. This scene just had nothing. The only thing I regret that happened is when Rachel tried to light that candle above her. I just was mad the wax didn't drop on her. I honestly didn't have much. The cake thing that pissed me off.
It pissed you off?
Yeah, because you steady picking girl now. I hope at the end is Jen clocks you with that water pitcher. I really want this to happen now because you still continuing, girl. Like this thing is overdone. Jen ain't said nothing to you no more, Danielle. Like, chill. Like, I think Danielle wants to fight. Actually,
Yeah, she does.
I think she wants to fight. I don't think Danielle got enough at the Tulum party. I think Danielle wants more.
If I could say really quickly, it didn't piss me off. That's the kind of housewife petty that I enjoyed. It was
I think
funny.
because I just don't like Danielle no more. It pissed me off. I agree with you. It was good for TV, but it's
Right.
just like they just said. You just told Rachel you're gonna be on your best behavior coming to the house, and here you go starting and making these comments loud enough for Jen to hear you. I guess that was payback for Jen talking loud enough for Danielle to hear her. Teresa's a bit. I don't know, but I'm just tired.
It seems like she's not gonna stop. So that's probably what's gonna lead to their big explosive thing. I mean, she's probably just not gonna stop. So we'll just see. But I mean, I don't mind it, but at some point it does get old. With any beef, any like little situation between two people. The conversation between Jen Fester and Rachel, I think it proved exactly what Dolores said earlier. Because even when Rachel spoke on it and how she tried to apologize for making her feel that way, like I don't really think she truly understood what Jen Fessler was saying and how it came off. I think she just apologized, which is great, but she just apologized to try to move forward. But she's very childish to me. Like I don't. She looks of anybody on the cast, she does appear to be young. Like her whole existence, except for her nose, appears to be young. So that stood out to me. But I'm glad they talked. I really wish. I hope that her and Jen just stop being friends for real, because it's kind of cringe watching Jen try to be friends with somebody like that. Like, girl, it's almost like, girl, know your worth. Like, ew. Like, ugh. Like, no.
She seems like she's drained. Like she's just over it though. Because even when Dolores was telling her, she was like, you know what? I have to agree. Like even when she sat down to talk with Rachel, it just gave, look, I'm here, the camera's here. Come on, let's do whatever we got to do.
I didn't even think that conversation was going to end well because they see that they're getting a little aggressive at the end. A lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seemed like she just apologized just to do it right. As far as Danielle, I'm over it. Like banter is like Artwell just said. Like Danielle's is lackluster. It's not even. It's at some point like it was entertaining last week, but it's like you're gonna just keep throwing in little jabs here and there, like unprovoked. It's all at this point. It's like you're bullying, like you're just doing it, and I think that's a great word for it, because it's like she's not really talking to you. It makes you look like you're pressed, like you're bothered by it, and it doesn't. You don't come off as the person that's like in the lead to win this whole thing because you're bothered. Like you can't be in the room with somebody without making a comment about somebody. It's like, okay, we
wait for
it.
Jen to do something back at you, and then you could do something back. But Danielle is just boom, boom, boom.
At this point,
boom.
whatever Jen decides to do is justified.
Yeah,
It's warranted, because it's like you're just poking, and that's annoying. That was pretty much it in this scene. Like not much happened. I mean, they seem to have a good time. Sex and things like that always brings housewives together on every franchise. So I wasn't surprised by it. I'm just really ready to get to this episode where they have this little retreat or whatever they do.
The mafia dinner.
I just want to see what is going to happen, because that's really all that's left. I thought next week was the finale, but I believe the finale is
did too.
after next week. I guess I thought last week was episode 11, but it was actually episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's 13 episodes, I believe, right?
And then the reunion, the playback scene.
Yeah. It was an okay episode to me. Nothing too crazy.
Got to come back.
Just continuation. Okay. maybe it'll be one part. I don't know.
I mean, I hope so. I don't see any issue. I don't see any reason to replay the finale for them to watch, for us to watch, them watching to give us their feedback. It would
do it while that's going on.
Yeah.
Extend an extra 15-20 minutes like y'all doing to watch.
Well, not even that. I mean, I'll take a whole episode, but we don't need 2-3 parts of that. We don't need.
No, that's what I'm saying. Give us like an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 20, whatever. Take over and watch what happens live time slot. Nobody need to watch that anymore anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Cortez has put the link in the chat for y'all to call in and give us your opinions.
Yeah.
Make sure to like and
I will tell you
subscribe.
what's been seeming kind of good. I mean, I don't know. I think y'all been watching because I know y'all been reviewing it, but OC has seemed interesting.
Ooh.
Um, Now I'm not gonna watch it because I just don't have the capacity for any other TV show right now. But OC seems interesting, and it looks like they said Salt Lake City was supposed to give a trailer last week, so maybe it'll be this week.
And I'm with you, Cortez. I watch OC, so I don't mind doing that. But I just don't have room for Dubai. They keep saying it's good this season.
I'm not watching it.
I don't have the room for it. I just really that first season pissed me off so bad how bad it was. I just don't.
Y'all can. I will catch it on the iPod because I will not be watching any other Housewives other than what I review going forward. And that's just that. So, okay. Well, it looks like we have one call in the queue, and that's great. So I'm gonna go ahead and let her on. And then, the link is in the chat if y'all still want to join. But by the time she gets off, if there's no callers, then we'll just wait out. So our caller for today is going to be Lisa. Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
Hey, darling, how y'all doing?
Yes,
Let's get started. I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's just getting ridiculous right by now. Okay, I don't. Dolores. Okay, you're not being a good friend. I've been. Yeah, I do believe Marge got some on Dolores. I do believe what Danielle has said. The other Danielle Steps has said about what Dolores had said about Teresa. I really do believe that's true. I have seen some of that over the years since they've been on the show, but I really do believe, like I said, that Dolores really don't like Teresa that much. You can definitely tell this season. I don't know what's going. I don't know what's transpired in their friendship, but you can definitely tell. So I'm just really over. I'm just really over. You seen her telling this girl business, talking about, well, Teresa ain't doing good. Well, it's not nobody else's business. You supposed to be her friend. You supposed to say she's going through some things right now. You don't go back and tell her business, okay? You just don't. I'm just sick and I'm just tired. I'm over it. I'm just done. And same thing with Teresa and Jan. Good to and I'm like Jane, Teresa, stand up for me. Stand up me like I always stand up for you. You know what I'm saying? You should have told Danielle. Danielle, look, this ain't the place, this ain't the time, okay? You know what I'm saying? This ain't place and time. Let's move on. Okay? But because I'm tired of Danielle, I am with I'm tired of her. Child, let that stuff go. She ain't nice. What all she say? She said you didn't pay the people or whatever. Child, let that stuff go, child. It was not that big a deal. What you been complaining about? You act like she told she's like you stole money or you killed somebody or she did something to your kids or your husband or something. Girl, let that stuff go. If you want to fight somebody, fight your dad or fight somebody else. Shoot, ain't no time fighting over that mess. Over that mess is so little, so petty. I'm sick of all of this stuff going on in these relationships. Now I'm gonna tell you about Louis. I don't know. I ain't never got to the bottom of it. I believe Margaret. I have heard from bloggers that Margaret did get in touch with the ex, and you have no business. If we friends, you have no business coming to his ex for what you come to his ex for. You know what I'm saying? You want to get on me about okay. What's going on here? She told you stay out of her dumb business. Stay out of her love bubble, whatever bubble she had with that man. Look, if she wanted to get scammed and dragged by Louis, that's on her. Ain't no you see Joe and Melissa wasn't worrying about it. They ain't worrying about so why should I worried about it? It seems like the girls is okay with it. She get dragged because no, they keep saying Louis is a good guy, but to me, he seems like he is something wrong there. I don't know what's wrong with that dude, but something wrong with Louis. I just ain't got to put my finger up on it. Other than that, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to the season finale to come so we can get over this part. This stuff is just getting on my nerves. All of this get on my nerves right by now. And I'm like, yeah, what you mean? What you mean you working on to it if she coming or she not coming? That's stupid. I mean, it's getting to the point now. You stupid. I think this gonna be to at least Teresa last year. I really think they're gonna fire her.
Why you think that?
I think because the way everything is going down. You know how Vicky Gunnison had talked on that broadcast. She talked to Vicky Gunnison, and her and Vicky Gunnison kept bringing up some familiar points of what went down. Like Vicky Gunson kept talking on her last season with the Real Housewives of Orange County, and I believe they're gonna be the same thing happening to us. I believe Teresa, they're gonna bring Teresa back, and if they don't bring my girl back, I ain't gonna stop watching it. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm all team Teresa. I really am. But now that's all I got, y'all. But I love y'all. Make sure y'all get out and register to vote.
That's right.
We need Kamala Harris in the house. And Cortez, stop showing off your sexy legs.
Oh, thank you. That's why I show them out. So y'all can keep looking at them. All
I
right,
love
thank
y'all.
you.
I'll see y'all next week, okay?
All right.
Mwah.
I would say you know the episode wasn't good if Lisa got off on her own. She said, that's all I get. I'm out of here. I'm about to lean out. So you know the episode wasn't given like that. But thank you, Lisa, for calling in. Okay. Our last caller for tonight is going to be Justin. Hey, Justin, how are you?
Hey guys.
Hey,
Oh my
Justin.
gosh. Yeah, this episode was this is just boring again. It's I just now they're really are trying to act like they're all best friends and stuff now. Like trying to act like Teresa is not there and we not inviting her to things and it's funny from the beginning of the season. Teresa has came to every event and ignored them all. Like, how did they use her name for the first half of the season, and then for the final half of the season, when y'all jobs are on the line, we're gonna act like we're friends now? It's lame. It's very performative. But I don't like Danielle. Danielle's thirsty. She needs to go. It's just getting annoying. I didn't even care. I didn't even like when she even did that with Jennifer. It's just you see, Jennifer has been in every event and she ain't talked to Danielle. She ain't said nothing to her. It's giving Danielle's giving Melissa Gorga right now, trying to get
Mm.
a reaction out of Teresa, and it's just not working. Cause you see when Jennifer mentioned Teresa, you saw Melissa's face. She was just making all them faces and stuff. But I'm ready for the finale. Is one more episode after this?
That's what they said. Somebody said it was
Okay.
13 episodes. So we should have next week. Then we'll have the week after that.
But
That's what they
I
said.
I I agree with the last caller. I feel like either they gonna get rid of Teresa or Teresa. I honestly I really want Teresa to get the candy treatment. I really want her to just leave. Like you don't really need this show anymore. Like you can go now. It's like if that's really what Bravo wants, if they really think that Margaret and them that core is gonna hold the group together, then the ratings will go down. People are gonna watch, but it's gonna go down though. So, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. This interview. So, see y'all next week for the finale, I guess.
Well, no, finale should be in 2 weeks.
Oh,
Supposed to
two
be.
weeks. Yeah,
We it's not next week for sure. We know that, but
yep.
in 2 weeks is what they said. So we'll see.
But yeah, good job y'all for holding it down, holding it in there. Cause
We appreciate it, Justin. We
Thank
listen.
you
We
so
we
much.
trying out here, child. We trying.
all right, but y'all have a good night.
Have a good night, Justin.
Yeah.
All right, thank you to Justin and Lisa for calling in tonight. Feel free to call in. We definitely no matter how boring the episode is, I'm pretty sure your call may be way more entertaining than anything that happened on the episodes here lately anyway. So please call in. As we get to the end of the season, obviously you've seen myself, Danny, Jamie, and Sammy. But we're probably like the finale and then the whatever the reunion episode, whatever it is, we'll probably all be here. So you'll get a chance to get all of us on the screen. And I believe the next show, as I mentioned, is probably going to be Salt Lake City. We're not doing Dubai. We're not doing OC. So if you're looking for us after this, it'll probably be more than likely Salt Lake City. I heard that they wrapped and their trailer should be premiering soon. So yeah, you'll see us then. But other than that, Sammy.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe, and thank you for joining in. And we'll see y'all next week.
All right, thank y'all. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.